Now that we've finished all of our work inside of Photoshop, let's go ahead and close this and switch over to Dreamweaver. Before we do any of that stuff, let me just explain what you have inside of your Downloads folder. Go ahead and click on that Downloads folder zip, and you're going to see that you have a couple of different things here. I've included a sample client folder for you to be able to use in further projects for yourself. Store all of your source files in these areas, and then you have a section here called Website Root that holds a folder called Photoshop Sliced Experts. That's all going to be used for any kind of website design stuff. I have another folder called RC Photography. Now this is the aggregate of all of the stuff that we've been working on. Again, most of these files are empty, but all of the work that we've been working on here is in PSD files section. Now, if you single click on one of these and drag it into Photoshop, you'll see what we have. You have inside of the layers panel, let's get and drag this out so we can show you. Close this out. You have a header information all set up here. You have your navigation information. If you click on the drop down, you'll see all of the stuff that we've been working on in earlier lessons. Your content section right here. And you have background elements, all of the stuff that we've been doing from a background element standpoint. All files are included there, including the ones from the previous lessons. Now, what I want to do is I want to be able to work with this one, with the texture design finished one. And we're going to cut this one and put it into Dreamweaver. But before we do, I'm just going to go ahead and close this out. I'll minimize this. What I want to do on the RC Photography section is I want to be able to define this as the website root for us to be able to work on layout. So that's where we're going to go. I'm going to close this out and I'm going to go back into Dreamweaver. And in Dreamweaver, what I'll do is I'll go under the site window. And in the site window, you have an option for new site. And this is where you can start setting a process of defining that website. So we'll click on new site. And the first thing you'll see is that you have a basic and an advanced tab. Advanced is actually pretty easy for what we're doing, but let's go through the basic real quick. What would you like to name your site? That's the name of the site as it appears inside of the site inspector. That's not what it's going to look like when you publish it. So this name doesn't really matter. It's just to kind of help you out. I'm going to go ahead and put in RC Photography. I don't need to put a website address. I'm not going to publish it, so it'll be fine. Now, from there, I'll click on Next. We're not using any specific server technology, so for this, we're going to go ahead and select No. Now, how do we want to work with the files during development? This is the important part, because what we're going to do is we're going to specify that web root folder for us to be able to publish. Now, I'm going to navigate. I'm navigating over to the desktop because that's where I save most of my stuff, and this is where we downloaded the file. So inside of there, I'm going to go to the RC Photography, and I want to make sure that I select the website root. That's going to be the start of the folder, not the RC Photography. If you publish this one, then you're going to be publishing all of the source files, and you're not going to be able to get to the website anyway because it's going to be in a subdirectory that has spaces. So don't do that. Just use the website root directory that separates all of your source files with all of your published files. Inside of there, we have a section called Photoshop Slice Exports. We're going to use that a little bit later to separate the slices that we've done on the website with the actual content that's going to go on the website. So website root, that's where we want to go. We click on Choose. Once we've done that, I'm going to click on Next. How do you want to connect to the remote server? You're either going to do this at the local network if you're trying to do this on a network within an organization, or you're going to do this via FTP. Now, FTP, you're going to get a username and a password for whatever your hosting provider sets up for you. In this case, we're not using FTP and we're not doing a local server. So what we're going to do is we're just going to select none as an option and click on Next. This gives us a summary of everything that we worked on. And when you click on Done, it'll bring you to the Files window. Now, let me just show you something else real quick here. I'm going to click on Site. I'm going to click on New Site. We did that through the Basic section. If you went to the Advanced section, there's a lot of other information that we'll talk about in other classes, but it's just as fast. All we did is fill in the site name. Under the site name, we pointed to the local root folder, and under the remote info, we set up access of none. That's all we did. So sometimes just going advanced is easy. You just go in here, type in your name, type in the folder that you want, put in none or put in FTP, and click OK. You're all set. Now, in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to start talking about setting up some guides and some slicing, bring all of this stuff into